You almost set, Noel?
Yep, ready. Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2...
Welcome to the 3030 Report.
Welcome back to the new, improved 3030 Report. I'm your host, P, and my co-host, Noel.
Hi, guys!
Now I know what you're all thinking. That hi, guys, sounds very familiar. That's because it was. Noel and I have decided to make our 3030 Report a bit more personal. So let us reintroduce ourselves. Hi, I'm Prue, aka P. I'm a vet nurse, I'm married, I live in Werribee, I have 4 dogs, 2 cats. My hobbies are radio presenting / podcast hosting, and I enjoy riding motorbikes along with my husband.
My name's Noel, or the artist formerly known as Bambi. I'm from Braybrook and I live with my partner and our 3 cats. I work in customer service for an American irrigation company, and I enjoy mostly creative pursuits like dancing and dressing up and performing, things like that. And I super duper enjoy the colour pink.
And today we have a jam-packed show for you.
We've got loads of new segments for you. So we're going to check out What's Whitney Watching, the headlines from around the West, and I share this week's First World Problems.
Noel and I put our friendship to the test in our new BFF challenge. We tell our worst Uber Eats horror stories and loads more.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. But first, stick around for this week's 3030 Report.
Hold up.
Hey Noel, have you seen and heard about the tragic fires that have devastated California? So many celebrities had to flee from their homes.
Yes, it's horrible. They're the deadliest wildfires in California history. And they've claimed over 79 lives, I've heard. And last report, so many were still unaccounted for. More than 9,000 homes have been incinerated. And the cause of the fires still yet to be confirmed.
Many celebrities were forced to evacuate the area. Kim Kardashian, Will Smith, Lady Gaga, Orlando Bloom, Jessica Simpson are just some of the names that I heard had to flee. The Bachelor Mansion.
Oh.
It had partially burned and the set from Westworld was completely destroyed.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know.
It's so horrible. So many people have lost their homes. I saw Miley Cyrus's Instagram post telling people her home no longer stands, but at least her pet and her partner got out safe.
Oh, that's good. It's just devastating. So many lives have been affected by this tragedy. It's going to take a lot of work and love and support to get that community back up and running. It's such a shame. What's Whitney watching?
That, my dear listeners, means it's time for our new fortnightly segment, What's Whitney Watching? Joining the 3030 crew is our lovely TV analyst, Whitney.
Hi, Whitney. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, the new 3030 TV analyst.
Well, that's a bit extreme. I'm just really talking crap about television that I'm sure we all watch.
Well, isn't that what TV analysts do?
Well, yes.
All right, so what have you got for us this week? What are you watching, Whitney?
So I've been watching this TV show called The Secret Life of 4-Year-Olds. It's on Channel 10 at 7:30 every Monday night.
Monday night, 10.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And it gives us a view of what it's like to be 4. So the children are in daycare and they're being watched by hidden cameras. And it's narrated by 2 child psychologists.
Yeah.
And apparently being 4 is one of the most crucial ages of your life.
Young development and all of that.
Yeah. So the experiment involves play and tasks set by the teachers. The teachers' names are Ben and Sarah. And the tasks are designed to test the skills and behaviours of the 4-year-olds.
Sounds interesting.
So is it the same 4-year-olds every week, or do they have different groups? Or
Well, first week we're introduced to all the children generally, but they design certain tasks for certain children, so you'll only see maybe 4 out of the 12 do the one thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just
beautiful.
to see how they each react. So,
It's editing.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, episode 1 introduced us to the children and gave us an insight as to how 4-year-olds develop friendships. It was quite interesting to watch because not everybody made friends
On the
quite
first day.
easily, like straight away. There were, 1 or 2 children that didn't know how to make friends, so it was quite interesting to watch them develop their friendships.
That sounds really cute. 4-year-old is a really cute and adorable age, and I guess
is,
they are just
definitely.
discovering even their vocabulary, let alone how to make friends.
Yeah, and the thing is they didn't know how to express it, whereas one girl, like for instance in episode 1, Jacqueline, she was quite a reserved child. She approached the children and asked them, oh, do you want to play with me? But they were all playing something else.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to play with her at
A
that
distraction,
minute,
of course.
but they eventually decided that they would play with her next Friday.
Oh, okay.
So that was how that situation was resolved. But you could see that she was really upset about it until they all decided that Friday was a good day for them to all play.
Okay, so even though it wasn't Friday today, we're not going to play
No.
with you today,
Yeah.
but don't worry, we got you on Friday. Oh, that's adorable.
So Jacqueline was very happy about that, so she made a friend.
Fantastic.
Episode 2 was about winning and losing.
Winning and
So-
losing.
Very, very important lessons.
Yes.
Yeah, we all hate to lose.
And there was a handful of children that always wanted to win,
Of course.
but like for instance Freya. Freya always wanted to win but never won.
Oh,
So she didn't
me.
want to involve herself in races and things like that because she was afraid of losing.
I feel you, Freya. I feel you.
So they had one task that was set up where they had to build a rocket. So they were separated into groups, 4 in each group, and whoever could build the tallest rocket won. Amelia was in one group. She was quite bossy, just kept asserting to everybody that she was the boss.
Maybe something about little girls named Amelia.
So
Don't
that was the whole
stereotype.
entire time. She just kept telling everybody that she was the boss. Louis was on the other team. Louis was very hands-on,
Yeah.
very helpful, and eventually his team built the best rocket while Amelia was still telling everybody that she
she's
was the boss.
So one team had a plan, one team had a boss.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So how did they take to losing?
Well, I don't think Amelia was too worried about losing because she was more worried about being the boss.
Okay, so it wasn't competition to her, it was control.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So once they were done, they all just sort of moved on. Louis celebrated, like
Yes.
he celebrated everything that he won in that
Go,
episode.
Louis.
So that was quite cute. But then they moved on to another task where they were testing their willpower
Willpower.
involving
Ooh.
chocolate freckles.
Oh, well, chocolate willpower. I don't know if that goes
Well,
hand
and
in
chocolate freckles just generally, like, yum.
Yes.
So they brought the children in pairs and they sat them side by side with chocolate freckles on their plate, and they were told that if they didn't touch the chocolate freckle, they could have a chocolate freckle cupcake.
Okay.
But if they touched the freckle, that's all they got, the chocolate freckle, and that was it.
Okay.
That-
So, did they do this in pairs or singly?
Well, Louis did it singly,
Okay.
but the rest were in pairs.
Fantastic.
They had to sit for 10 minutes. Louis was
10
left...
minutes. Were they being watched?
Yes, they were being
But did
watched.
By
They
the
did.
cameras or
No,
by
no, no.
the
So
teachers?
They
Ben-
didn't know they were being watched.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yes.
so the cameras were watching them, but Ben had actually left them with the chocolate freckle and said, I'm going to be gone for 10 minutes. If you don't eat it when I come back, you can have a cupcake. That kind of scenario.
10 minutes to a child's like an hour.
Well, Louis was saying that it was taking forever. He was not happy with how long. But Louis resisted and received a cupcake for morning tea.
Woo! Go, Louis!
He did a very good job.
How did the other children go?
Ryan couldn't help himself and started to lick his freckle, as did Raphael.
And were these a pair?
Yep, so Raphael and Ryan were in a pair
they'd lick at
together.
their freckle?
Yep.
Okay. They got chocolate on their faces by this stage? or just little
No
licks?
chocolate. Like, so they were
Ooh,
literally
yeah.
just picking him up and licking the sprinkles on top and putting it back on the plate.
Great.
They had Amelia and Zara together. They couldn't even help themselves. They were picking sprinkles off the top of the freckles.
Great.
And then Ben came in.
Okay.
And when Ben came back, he had asked Raphael and Ryan, had anybody touched the freckle? Well, they were both like, nope, no one touched the freckle. And then all of a sudden, Raphael's like, Ryan licked the freckle.
Oh, it's a dobber.
And then Raphael eventually admitted to licking the freckle. Even though they were both insisting that neither of them had touched it, they eventually dobbed each other in. They both missed out on cupcakes, but they got to eat their freckles as a reward.
Okay.
So tell me, how did the girls do?
Well, even though they both licked their freckles, they both ended up getting cupcakes.
Oh, I have a confession. I watched this episode and it was the best part of the episode. They stuck to their guns, they kept their lies straight, and they got their cupcake even though they licked the freckles.
Yes, girl.
Girl power!
Teamwork.
Woo! It was brilliant. All right, I'm sorry. Keep going.
And then later on in the day, they had set up a temptation in the room where they had like a big sack full of balloons and confetti, and Ryan, Flynn and Amelia were left in the room unattended, and they were told not to touch it.
Oh, that's a big temptation.
So obviously they all wanted to touch it. Eventually, Flynn was he was trying to touch it but not touch it. He was just casually walking into the string.
Yeah, okay.
So every time he walked into it, it
would touch
moved
you.
it a little bit more, and he was like, well, I'm not technically pulling on it, I'm just walking into it. Eventually, though, he gave in and he pulled the string, and confetti and balloons came falling down from the roof. And Ben returned, and there was confetti and balloons everywhere, and they were all like, oh, I didn't do it. But this is so much fun, running around in the balloons and the confetti. So they
So
were
the
all
consequences weren't even thought of.
No,
it was just
no,
fun.
they were just having way too much fun with the confetti and balloons that fell from the ceiling.
That's
Fantastic.
brilliant. All right, so what's happening next week?
Next week, we are moving into the secret life of 4 to 5 year olds.
Ooh.
So-
So we've got 2 different age groups in the one episode.
Yes.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So
And we can find it when?
on Channel 10, Monday nights at 7:30.
Fantastic. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, was our first What You Watchin' Whitney. And if you have any suggestions or any ideas of shows that you want Whitney to watch and analyse, drop us a line at the 3030report at gmail.com. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, our new 3030 Report TV analyst, Miss Whitney. Woo!
Thanks for having me.
First World Problems!
Thanks to old mate Wes for that rousing intro. Today we're having a whinge about some first world problems that have been circulating in the news lately. P, have you heard about Onion Gate?
Oh my God, how ridiculous was it?
Just a bit ridiculous. For those that haven't heard, Bunnings Warehouse have decided to change where they put their onions on their famous sausage sizzle snags, and people are not happy about it.
Can you believe head office have decided that it's safer to go bread, onion, sausage, and then the sauce because it eliminates the hazards of customers slipping on rogue onion droppings around the store?
Which I don't think is unreasonable if it stops them getting sued. What I do think is super unreasonable is people taking time out of their day to send them super nasty letters. I mean, come on guys, it's fried onion on a sausage.
You're right, Noel. Bunnings has bigger problems, like air conditionings and, oh my God, the uniforms.
Pete, that's not really what I meant.
Hold up.
And with that, it's time to check out this week's headlines.
Okay, guys, let's check out what's been going on in our West. The Tigers Club revamp. Wyndham Council has approved a Tigers Clubhouse expansion that will add another 10 pokie machines to the venue. 1 month after knocking back the same plans. 4 out of 6 available councillors last week approved plans for a $1.69 million redevelopment of the Werribee Football Club own venues. That includes 10 new pokie machines, a new storage area, and a courtyard and an extension of the liquor licence area. The club received approval for the new machines from the Victorian Commission for Gambling and Regulations in May, but also needed planning approval from the council. Councillors Mia Shaw said while she did not support an increase in poker machines, councillors had a duty to assess applications on their planning merit in accordance with the Wyndham planning scheme, and this one had met all the relevant guidelines.
We are assessing a planning application for the use of the building, not for whether or not there should be an increase in poker machines. If we were to use our power to vote against this application before us tonight, the applicant would take the matter to VCAT, and the ratepayers' funds would be used to defend the council's position, which I feel is irresponsible.
But fellow councillor Josh Gilligan said knocking back the planning application would send a powerful message that Wyndham did not need more pokie machines. The decision comes a month after the councillors voted against a council office recommendation to approve the planning permit application for the venue. When the Star Weekly asked Wyndham Council how the motion would be voted on a second time, City Operations Director Stephen Thor insisted that a resolution was not made at the October meeting, despite an online recording of the meeting and the minutes of that meeting clearly showing that the motion to approve the planning permit recommendation was lost. This is an interesting one. I can understand why the council doesn't want more pokie machines, but it's redeveloping such a loved and used venue in Werribee. I mean, the Tigers Club is a very,
I'm with our councillor Mia Shaw on this. That yes, knocking it back would send a message, but it would also
be irresponsible.
It would waste Werribee ratepayers' money for the VCAT case, so...
And for something that, by the sounds of things, they would lose.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? You can't stop redevelopment just because they want more poker machines.
Exactly.
Maybe you should stop more venues opening with poker machines, Mr. Council people.
Exactly. Protest hits Wombat bid. Protesters turned out in horseback, in four-wheel drives and on foot to rally against the Wombat State Forest becoming a national park. About 700 bush users and environmental group members brought Gisborne's town centre to a halt this month to stand against a move by Victorian Environment Assessment Council they fear will restrict public access to the park. The VEAC had been ordered by the state government to investigate the future against the classification of Wombat, Wellsford, Mount Cole and Pyrenees Ranges State Forest. The AEAC draft report's recommendations included changing the status of the Wombat State Forest by establishing the Wombat Lurdy-Durg National Park. The report is open for public comment until December 10. Community members from the Wombat State Forest region, including horse riders, prospectors, campers and greenies, called on all state election candidates to declare their position on the national park proposal according to organisers. Rally organiser Tim Anderson, who had campaigned on Wombat State Forest issues since 1989, had this to say: locking up the forest would put an end to locals collecting firewood, dispersed camping, horse riding, dog walking and a range of other activities. The Victorian Environmental Assessment Council's proposal to make the Wombat State Forest into a national park is the wrong direction for the Wombat Forest on environmental and social grounds. Mr. Anderson said the draft report is simplistic, rejects both science and our local communities, and will be the worst outcome for the future of the Wombat State Forest. The local community fought and overcame unsustainable logging in the 1990s, and that has left the Wombat State Forest in highly degraded condition. That must be rectified if the forest is to be resilient. It is incredible just how passionate and connected the people of the central Victoria region are to the Wombat Forest. It's really the people's forest. But Victoria National Parks Association supports the change in status, saying it will give the park protections, management and funding it deserves. Director Matt Raphael said the park's forests are generally put aside for extractive use and no regulations or management of state forests other than the logging operations on larger scale mining. Changing to a national park excludes those very damaging activities. For everything else regarding the recreational activities, camping, trailback riding, and four-wheel driving, the rules are exactly the same for the state forest and national parks. The VEAC draft reports had already received about 640 submissions.
Wow.
So it sounds to me that the only massive difference would be to put a restriction on mining and fracking and all those things that we don't want happening in the state forest anyway. Sounds like it says that they would still be able to have camping and bike riding and four-wheel driving. So,
but I think the protesters are worried that they say that now. And if we start putting these regulations on them, then more will slowly follow. The Wombat State Forest has made millions of memories for me. I've spent New Year's out there, school holidays out there, camping with family and friends.
And from what I know, most of the mining and stuff has been done out there well before our time.
Well before our time.
So
I can understand those things. And there are a lot of caves and stuff out at, especially around Blackwood.
Yeah.
There's heaps of caves, and some of them understandably are dangerous and maybe need to be more manned and resourced.
One of my friends lives out, and she's got 24 acres on the Wombat State Forest.
Mm-hmm.
And in her backyard, there are 3 big, 100-meter drop mine shafts that are just randomly if you didn't know where they were,
Ballarat's full
you
of
could
those.
just walk
That whole
and fall
area.
down one and die.
100%. That whole area is full of them. That's a difficult one. That really is. Look, people, get online, have your say. You can have your say up until the 10th of December. So if you want your say, get in there, get on the line, and definitely check that out. 2 charged following Wyndham Vale home invasion. Altona North Divisional Response Unit detectives have arrested 2 teenagers following an aggravated home invasion in Wyndham Vale. Wayward Task Force investigators executed search warrants at a number of properties in northwestern suburbs. It comes after police were called to a home in Peppermint Crescent, Wyndham Vale, after 5 males allegedly forced entry about 5:45 a.m. on Saturday the 17th of November. 5 offenders were allegedly armed with weapons and made demands on the victim's car, which was stolen from the home. The 3 occupants of the home, an 80-year-old man, 66-year-old woman and a 27-year-old woman, were not injured during the incident. The vehicle was recovered at Point Cook later that morning. Detectives arrested an 18-year-old Mountain West man at a commercial property in Thomastown yesterday morning. He was presented at the Melbourne Magistrate Court charged with aggravated home invasion and theft of a motor vehicle. The man has been further remanded to the same court on the 10th of December. A 16-year-old Glen Roy boy was also arrested in Perry Street, Collingwood. He was presented at the Children's Court charged with aggravated home invasion and theft of a motor vehicle and was further remanded to a later date. Detectives are appealing for a further 3 teens to come forward to assist with their inquiries. The investigation is ongoing, and if anyone has any further information, they're urged to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. That's a scary one.
Yeah, it sounds like a aggravated home invasion on possibly an old couple and their daughter.
I know, or even their granddaughter at that age. It's just horrendous and it's horrible. And 5:45 in the morning, go to bed.
And what are kids from Glenroy and Thomastown doing over here in Werribee at that time of the morning?
I know, it's terrible.
Know where your children are.
Exactly. All right, guys, that's this week's Western Suburbs news.
Hold up.
Wow, we are almost at the end of today's show.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It sure does. Who could that be?
I don't know, we're not expecting anyone, are we?
Oh, lovelies, how are we all this month?
Oh, it's that time again. Aunt Flo is here.
Yes, dears, Aunt Flo again. I know sometimes I'm a little unwanted, but you're all put up with me, don't you?
You're not unwanted, Aunt Flo.
Oh, lovely. Now, I have a very interesting fact I wanted to come share with you all.
Really? What's that?
Oh, now, lovelies, your Aunt Flo is just full of wisdom and is dying to let you know what I have for you. Do you want to hear?
Of course. Tell
Right.
us.
Did you know the size of your foot is approximately the size of your forearm?
Really? That's
Now,
really...
now, before you fall off your chair checking, trust your Aunt Flo and wait till you're in a safe position to do so.
Okay, we will. Listeners, be careful when you're trying this one at home.
Oh, bless you, lovelies. I better run. Jen's coming over for a cuppa. Bye, Aunt Flo.
Bye, Aunt Flo. Till next month. Well, that was interesting. Pete, what are you doing? You're trying it, aren't you?
Yes, I had to see if she was right. And look, she is.
Okay, well, get your shoe back on. It's time for this week's BFF challenge.
This is amazing.
Best friend to the end. Best friend to the end, my friend.
This week, we'll be reintroducing our new challenge segment. It'll be called the Best Friends Challenge.
Ooh.
So how it's going to work this week is we've got 7 questions in total for 10 points. So the first question is worth 3 points, question 5 is worth 2 points, and the other 5 questions are all worth 1. So what we've got here is, I'm going to read the question out. I've got my answers written down. Prue's got her answers written down. I'm going to answer about Prue. She's going to answer about me. And at the end, we'll let you know who got the most right and which were wrong and all that sort of thing. We'll go through our answers at the end. What do you reckon?
Okay, let's do this.
All right, guys. Question 1. What are your besties' top 3 favourite TV shows?
Okay, so this is very hard for me because Narule's more of a movie girl
That's
than
true.
a TV girl. So I'm going to have to go with Gilmore Girls,
Yeah, I'll accept that. Yep.
Big Brother.
Yep.
And this one I was pulling for everything. And we haven't lived with each other for a few years, so I don't know if she's going to go new or stick to old. But I want 2. This is a problem. I want 4 answers. I don't want 3 because I'm tossing up between 2. And my 2 I'm tossing up between are RuPaul's Drag Race and Gossip Girl, because we did binge Gossip Girl for a long time.
I'll accept RuPaul's Drag Race on that one. I'll accept Big
Okay.
Brother, Gilmore Girls, and RuPaul's Drag Race on
All
that one.
right, they're my 3.
So the answers I had for Prue's favourite TV shows
I'm easy.
are Big Brother, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and The Big Bang Theory.
She's done. I'll accept those 3. Okay, but I won't tell you if that's what I wrote down. The second question was, what's your bestie's middle name? So we each have one middle name each.
Yeah.
But what is it?
So mine's a bit of a trick question, so I'll let Prue answer this one first.
Yeah, well, it's retarded, but I'm doing it this way anyway. So Narule's name's hyphened. So is that her middle name or is that a hyphened name? So I'm going to say Deanne anyway.
Yeah. See, that's why I said it's a trick question. I would have accepted either way because, yes, I have a hyphenated first name. I don't really have a second name.
But I knew that, so that should be a point, I see. But anyway, we'll get that at the end.
And for Prue's middle name, I put down Mary.
Okay, what's the third question?
So what's your bestie's favourite pizza topping?
All right, so this I thought was a bit cruel for me because Noel can't eat pizza topping.
But I did for a long time.
So I'm going to go with what we did is when we were things. And I don't even know what it's called. It's the little round salami-like meat on the pizza with the, what was that pizza
Pepperoni.
called? Pepperoni. That's the one. I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Salami/pepperoni.
So I put down Prue's as margarita with chicken and pineapple. So I've eaten pizza with Prue enough times to know that one.
I'm easy. I'm very a creature of habit. All right. What is your bestie afraid of?
So for Prue, I put down spiders.
Okay, and so for Noel, I put down birds. So, next question.
So this one is for 2 points. We put down, what is your bestie's nicknames? So I answered Reggie and Ski.
Okay, so I'll give her both of those. I would say Noel, Bambi. She does have a few more, but I'll just stick with those
the main
two
ones.
because those two the public know.
Yeah.
All right, the next question. Which one word would you describe your bestie?
Mine was an easy one for Prue. Loud.
That's not fair.
But is it not right?
Yes, right. Now, I can't do it in one word because she's not just one word. Narul's 2 words, I think. And because she's got almost split personalities. So I would say that she is shy and outrageous. Because sometimes, or not even outrageous, outgoing. Because sometimes and in some situations, she is the most shyest person in the world. Yet she, in her past, was a burlesque dancer. So she's an onion. Or maybe I should say onion. Full of layers.
So question 6, we put down.
No, that's 7.
Sorry. Up to question 7 now. So the last question. When and how did the 2 of you meet?
Big day out.
See, I knew you were going to answer this one.
Yeah.
But I think we actually met at your husband's house.
Uh-huh.
Around the dinner table when you and your old best friend Mitza came to visit your husband.
So this could potentially be right, but I don't think that's fair because I came to a place that you stayed at a lot more, so you would have remembered me, but I wouldn't have remembered a group of people that I went and met that night.
See,
so
yeah,
you're probably right. I have to give you that point. All right, so how did we go? So for my TV episodes, you got 2 out of 3. I'm going to give you Big Bang and I'm going to give you Big Brother, but it's the BBBs for me, baby. Buffy.
Oh, see, I was tossing up between Buffy and Big Bang.
Yeah,
because she
a
watches
celebrity
Big Bang
thing.
every
Yeah.
night.
I do watch Big Bang every night, but before that it was Buffy.
So
What did you answer?
I put down.
So you got 2.
I put down Big Brother.
Mm-hmm.
I put down Gavin and Stacey.
See, yes.
And I put down 4 because I would have I wasn't sure which one you'd do. If you'd go Gilmore Girls or if you'd go RuPaul.
So I'm going with all 3
yeah.
then if you
So,
put
yeah.
4 down. So I'm winning on that
Yeah.
one. All right. So 2-3. Next question. Middle names. So we both got that right. All right. So now pizza toppings. We both got that
yeah.
right. So that was only a 1-pointer as well. Fears. We both got those
Now,
right.
I need to tell you a funny
imagine.
story about Prue's fear of spiders.
Oh.
All right. So Prue and I go camping a fair bit.
Lots.
And we have a couple of caravans that we go camping in. And one night we were staying in one of our caravans that we hadn't used for a little while. And our uncle had told us that he had sprayed it out and there were no spiders, no nothing, right? And every time we stay in this caravan, we get attacked by massive, massive huntsmen.
No, we don't just get attacked. They come out of the cupboards with little baseball bats like, I'm gonna get ya. They rear up to ya. They chase you around the caravan and they just freak me out.
And usually we're pretty well prepared. Like I've usually got fly spray stashed in one of the cupboards, ready to take this bastard down. If I have to put my lighter and use it like a flamethrower, I will. But because we hadn't stayed in this caravan for a while, we didn't have anything. We were not armed with anything. right? So it's about 3 a.m. It's pouring down with rain. I've got no shoes on. I'm in my pajamas. I'm running down the property trying to find Pooh's older sister to make her come to the caravan and take care of these massive
No,
huntsmen.
ladies and gentlemen, you do not understand. It was huge. She ran. See, I was at the end of the caravan where the door wasn't. She was at the end of the caravan where the door was. So she just abandoned ship and ran.
Well, I knew I had to get someone. I couldn't get it myself. And she's sitting in the caravan. I can hear her from the other side of the property screaming, "They're coming! They're gonna get me! Help!"
Oh, it was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
So yes, Pooh is 100% scared of birds.
Well, it looks like, what are the scores?
So it looks like we got about 9 each.
I think you did. So I got 1 extra on the first one and you got the last one where we met. So clear as day, 9 out of 10. Challenge next week.
We're gonna see who breaks the tie next week. So this week it's 9 all. Let's see, after a couple of weeks, who will reign supreme as the real best friend.
That was this week's episode of the BFF Challenge.
Best friend to the end. Best friend to the end, my friend.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of hungry. Do you have any dinner ideas for tonight?
I don't know. Probably just gonna call Uber Eats.
I know it's bad, isn't it?
So I'm feeling a bit lazy, eh?
Uber Eats. I heard you had a horror episode the other day.
All right.
Tell me what happened.
So I'm cursed, especially with this one restaurant. It always happens when I order Guzman Y Gomez from High Point.
High Point.
Because
All right.
it's just around the corner. I live in Braybrook. And it's happened with this particular restaurant about 4 times. I'll order the food. They'll prepare it. They'll tell me it's on the way. It'll get to like 2 minutes away from my house. And then the driver will cancel the order.
Oh my God! Is that even a thing?
With this restaurant, it's happened 4 times. So don't get me wrong.
So your driver
Uber-
likes your dinner?
Yeah, Uber always refunds it. But I had a look, because it's happened a couple of times, I had a look on a couple of Uber forums, and they said that being an Uber driver, if you pick up the food and you can complain about it for any reason, you can say, oh, it smells bad or it's cold or whatever, and Uber will tell you to throw the food out, and they'll refund the customer and they'll pay you for your
Delivery.
So you think about it, that's a fantastic way of getting free dinner
It
for some
really
Uber
is.
drivers. Especially the guy that lives around the corner from me and I know is an Uber driver, and the Uber always mysteriously terminates just out front of his house.
Someone likes what you're ordering.
So this thing happened to me again
Chili next time.
last Friday. I'd ordered
Yes.
Guzman and I'd waited about 40 minutes for it. It was 2 minutes from my house and it got cancelled. And it was late at night. I was already really upset and hungry. So I just want to bugger it. I'm just going to order Domino's. And then there was an accident on Ballarat Road between Domino's and my house.
You are jinxed, cursed.
So I eventually got my food.
Yes, just
But
took longer than
yeah,
expected.
it took a lot longer
Or
than
double the length.
expected because instead of being a 2-minute drive up Ballarat Road, the poor guy had to take a 15-minute drive through all the side streets to finally get to my house.
Oh, that should be a first world problem, not
I
a
know.
horror story.
Somebody feed the hungry Noel. I'm hungry, damn it.
All right. Well, I've got one horror Uber Eats story, and it's only been once. And I had a delivery driver rock up to my door, and I went out to greet him. And as I was accepting the meal, another Uber driver had rocked up to my address and started arguing with the Uber driver that was already there, saying, "This is not your address, this is my address." And I had somebody else's dinner in my hand. They had a little argument, and the guy I came back up, took my dinner, and then a new guy gave me my dinner, and I just went back inside.
Oh, rumble of the Uber drivers.
It must have been like next door or something, really close, because, yeah, they were having it. No, this is my address, and I only ordered from one place. Guys, calm down. But that's my horror Uber story. All right, before we go, one last thing.
Hold up.
So, Nul, what's on in the West?
All right, well, it looks like you guys got a pretty action-packed week over here.
Woo.
So from Wednesday, November 28th to Sunday, December 2nd, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. at President's Park, Werribee, you've got the Food Truck Festival.
I
Yum!
remember this came last year.
So refuel with Melbourne's best food trucks. Make a pit stop at the craft beer bar.
You've had a bit
Spit it
too
out,
much
no?
beer.
Or drive on through for some kids' entertainment and performers. You're sure to have a really good time at the Food Truck Festival.
Okay,
So
what's
funny.
next, Corny?
All right, so on December 1st, which is Saturday, you've got Christmas at the Lakes at the Breezewater Reserve in Sanctuary Lakes from 2 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. They're celebrating their 12th year running this year and is promising to be the biggest event they've ever had. They'll have plenty of rides, food, stalls, a little market, they'll have roving performers, fireworks, and plenty of carols to be sung.
Oh, I love a good Christmas carol.
Me too. And it's only gold coin donation for entry, so that's pretty good too. And it's all run by the local Sanctuary Lakes community group, so that's really great.
That's fantastic. What else?
So on Sunday, the 2nd of December, you've got Restos and Rods car show at Nelson Place in Williamstown from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So the Restos and Rods will be having the annual car show at the Seaworks Museum in Williamstown. They'll be having trophies for the best rod, best restos, best muscle, best custom, people's choice, and more. They'll have music by the Itchy Fingers Band, and they'll be raising funds for Variety, the children's charity. They said no cars pre-1978 and no motorbikes, please.
Okay. That sounds like a jam-packed weekend to be had.
Does. Plenty of food, fun, stalls, and Christmas carols.
Woo!
Come on, Werribee.
All right, guys, that brings us to the end of tonight's show. Don't forget to subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube, find us on Spotify.
Drop us a line and let us know what you think of the new format. We've put a lot of work into it, and we hope you guys enjoy it.
So drop us a line at the 3030report@gmail.com, and you'll see us at the new time, new format next week on the 3030
3030
report.
report.